Alright guys, I'm picking up where I left off. We added an area to the bottom of the floor, and when the marble touches the floor it tells us, but it's also telling us when the floor touches the floor, which is not really what we want. We don't want to accidentally teleport the floor up to the top. So we need to detect if it's an actual marble or whatever it is that touched us. We want to check and make sure it's the right thing. So go to the marble. What we're going to do is we're going to add this marble to a group. So I'm on the marble scene. I'm going to go to groups, and I will say I want to add you to the group of marble. So there's marble. So this marble is now in the group of marble. Seems redundant. Alright, let's go back to our floor script. And we only want to know if something touched the floor if it is a marble. So we'll say, let's get the groups. So I'll say var body groups. I'm making a variable. My variable needs to hold all the groups of that body so I can check them. So I'll say body dot get groups. Should be in here. There you go. Okay, so what does this do? The thing that touched the floor is going to take the place of this argument. So this argument's going to be what touched the floor. And out of that, we want to grab, we want to know what groups does the body have. So that's what that does. Out of the groups that the body has, we want to check to make sure that one of those is the marble. So there's a couple ways to write this. So we'll say, I think I can remember both. I'm going to try to do both. Okay, so if body, let's see, if, oh man, I'm going to try this. If marble is in body groups. I don't know if this is going to work, but I'm trying it. There's two ways to do it, and I think this might work. Let me see. Or it might crash us. Oh, yes, it did. Okay. So this is probably the better way to do it. This is not the way I usually do it. But this says does the groups that touched it, does it contain marble? Is marble inside of those groups? The other way that I write it a lot of times is I will say if body dot or if groups dot find, and then it finds the marble. It's looking for the marble. If it's greater than or equal to 0, then do that. Okay, so if you're wondering what's the difference between these two, this one says just tell me if marble is in those groups. Yes or no. Basically true or false. This one says where is marble in those groups? And the answer for this one would be 0 to like 1,000,000. And if it's not in the group, it's actually going to be a -1. So I'll say -1 means not in. That's a long comment. I'll leave it like that. Fine. I could do control minus. Okay, so I usually do write it like this one, but this one also works too. It's a little bit more straightforward. This one can help if you want to know where it is, because it basically makes a list, and in the list it's stored 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, blah blah blah. So either one of these was working. I want you to know how they both work. It'll be useful for when you're trying to take the Python cert. Okay, so now if I hit play, it's telling me if the thing that touched it was a marble. So now we know if it was a marble. If it is a marble, we want to change its position, right? So now if it gets in here, we know it's a marble. So this is a marble. So we want to move the marble's position. So if you click on the marble, the position is determined by this transform here. So there's the transform. That's the position, right? So if I say body dot position, I could change it. I could move it somewhere. I could say is equal to vector 3, and then I could choose those 3 spots, which would be X, Y, and Z. So the tricky part with here is I know that I want it to go back up to the top. So you got to figure out where are all those points in space up there. So you can either play around with it and find the exact spots. I'm going to show you how to use a node to help us do that. But if we look at, let's say, this one, transform, this one is at, let's do 2, and then 16. Let's see if that still looks nice. Yeah, that's fine. So 2, 16, 0. So let's go back to our code, and we could say move this to 2, 16, 0. Or this one's going to be the X position. The first one's going to be the X position. Then you're going to have the Y and then the Z. Alright, let's see what happens here when we play this. You should see that one marble fall, and then immediately it's back up there. Oh, look at that. They stacked on top of each other. What kind of craziness? Let's do 2.2. Do it again. So it should be moved over a little bit. Yeah, so now it moves around. And then they go back to doing their little bouncing thing, and they're coming down. Alright, now you don't want every single marble to fall, or maybe you do, I don't know. Maybe you want them all to only go in that one spot. But I think what will happen is, are they doing different? Will they eventually get in a loop where they do the exact same pattern? I think they will, but I don't know. No, maybe not. Oh, I know why. Because they keep the momentum that they have when they fall. But whatever. So that's how we can move the marble back to the top. Now that movement, you might not want it to always be in the exact same spot, which I don't. So I'm going to use spawn points. I'm going to make a spawn point. So I'll hit at the top and I'll add a node, and I'll say spawn points. And what this is going to do for me, why did I warp all the way over there? I don't know. I pressed F and it moved me. So I want to set some locations that this thing could spawn at. And so I made a node here, spawn points, and then I'm going to add a marker. They changed the position 2D and position 3D to be a marker, so I assume that it was probably causing them problems with the naming scheme, but I don't know. Alright, I'm going to decide a spot that looks decent. I want it to be in between point. If I look at the transform, I've got 14.5 and 0.5. I'm going to do in between those two, so I'll do 0.25. So it's like in between. Alright, so I've got my first marker. I'm going to leave the Z at 0.25. And really all that is just I'm trying to get in the middle there. Maybe 0.5 is better. I don't know. I like 0.25. What does 0.5 look like? I don't know. 0.5 is probably better. Okay, I'm doing 0.5. Alright, so let's add some more, going to the right and to the left. So I can duplicate this one. Duplicate, pull it over. Duplicate, pull it over. Duplicate. And I can repeat that a couple times. Oh, I hit the wrong one. Alright, there's some spawn points there. Let's go back to this first one. Since I got the snapping on, it's a little bit easier to copy them and move them, it looks like. Alright, so I've got 19 different spawn locations there. That's fine. I don't know if I have any like doubled up. I don't want to have any doubled up. I'm just gonna look and see if I can figure out if I have. I don't want any duplicates. Those look good. Oh, look at there. Found a duplicate. I don't want duplicates, so I'm going to delete that one. Seven, 8, 10. Okay. Alright, I got all of those. Do I need one more at the end? I think I do. One more. Okay. Got a whole row. Alright, now I'm going to duplicate these. I will move them up. Duplicate. Move them up. Oh, I feel like I messed up just then. Control D. So I don't know why I hit Control F. I don't know if that's too many or not, but there we go. Quite a few, 200 or so. You can kind of see why it's important to put things in folders. Alright, so there it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 11 rows. You can have more or less if you'd like, but I do want something of that nature. There's also a way to use like you could spawn them all in a random spot if you define an area up there, but I'm trying to show you how to use some of these nodes, so I'm gonna do it this way for now. Alright, I'm gonna pause or stop this and continue on with another video. See you in the next one.